Tickety! Top episode 3. I hope everybody's doing great this week. In this week's video, we are going to be taking the charcoal that we made in the last week video, and we're going to be first putting it into a water filter application. I have a giant bag of sand. I have a bottle that we're going to use for the filter. I have a sift for the sand because we don't want crappy sand, we don't want extra stuff in our sand layers. And I have, for the bottom of the filter, I'm going to be using partially a sock, and we're going to try to use these non-stick, non-adhesive gauze pads, just to get that last little bit of sand and dirt not to come through, and we can have a better, cleaner water at the end of this. But first, as always, survival tool number 1. Let's get started. Alrighty, so first things first, we have to sift ourselves some sand, because sand is going to be the bottom layer of our filter. We're going to do a rock, sand, charcoal, sand, cloth water filter. That's the design that I'm going to use. I think that's the design that I think will work best. Get a little bit of fuel first. I think that's enough for the bottom layer. We're not going to be using that much for the bottom, so looks nice and sifted out. Just sand, nothing extra. Move on to step 2. Alrighty, so step 2 and pretty much most of step 3, we're going to be getting our vessel ready to be our water filter. I took an old industrial alcohol jug. Of course I cleaned it out. Yes, I diluted every ounce of alcohol out of it so it's safe to use. I suggest you do the same with any vessel that you choose to use. Run water through it for at least 5 minutes under the faucet to get everything out of there that you possibly can get out of it. You don't want any of that stuff getting into your body, into your bloodstream in any type of way. So safety always first. Now we're going to be taking Sheila. Yes, I name my knives. This one is Sheila. She's my favorite. I use her the most. Sharpen her the most. There's a dot of plastic. A little difficult. Alright. So, took the bottom off because obviously everything will be poured in the top. So, the rest of this, the way this is going to work, moving on to step 3, we're going to cut roughly a third of this out in the middle so the water has somewhere to exit, and then we're going to screw it back on with the sock gauze combination. Well, as always, safety first, and we're going to be very, very careful here because this is a small item and we have a knife. We don't have one of those pocket knives. We got a real knife. Alright, so roughly that is what we are looking for. Okay, now that that step is done, we are going to move on to getting our last line, filter catch going on. Normally, they suggest cheesecloth, but we are going off the rules of being in a survival situation. So what I have in my go bag is an extra pair of socks and some gauze. So that's what we get to use today. Alright, so we don't need that big a piece because it just needs to fit right here inside of this, just like that. And because, just like that. Okay. And because it has the fibers and stuff, what we're going to do is we're actually going to put the gauze on both sides of it. We're going to sandwich the sock in between the gauze so that hopefully there are no fibers that come out in our finished product. So now, looking inside of this, it is very much fibery, right? This would be great for fire starting. Not so much for keeping fibers out of your water. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut a little bit bigger piece of sock off so that this sock can go on the bottom. We'll still get less fibers, it just won't work exactly the way that, we were planning it to. But with survival, nothing usually works the way you want it to. That's a rare occasion where you make a plan and you go to execute something and it works the way you want to. You got to do a lot of research and have a lot of practice for that to happen. And even then, it's not a guarantee. So, always, always, always be able to adjust and be able to do something different if you have to. Don't have your mind set on doing one thing because you're going to get your feelings hurt. Okay, so now that we have our gauze and sock cut, we're going to screw the top back onto our bottle and put some sand in that we filtered. We're going to crush up some of that charcoal we made last week just to make it real fine, so those particles have an easier time to stick to the carbon in it. And then we're going to sift some more sand and go find some little baby rocks. And our water filter should be done and we'll go test it out. Nice and snug. Alrighty, so got the top on, everything is ready. We're going to start filling it up now. Alrighty, so as you can see, I fill it up just to about there. Now we have to crush up some of this charcoal and dump it in. Alrighty, so we got our first layer of charcoal in there. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to sift some more sand and I'm going to crush up some more charcoal. I'm thinking that I want to do another layer of sand charcoal and then sand rocks. Just because I want to see what happens, really. So let's check it out. Alrighty guys, here's our finished product. We have charcoal, sand, charcoal, sand, cloth. Alright, in true stoner fashion, we had to get it up some way, so this is what we came up with. But it is elevated, it is off the ground, and we are ready to start filtering water. Alrighty, so we have a water filter, we have a clear glass to judge the water afterwards. We have 8 bottles of creek water. Looks pretty clear in the video, but it is a little dingy, a little yellow. But we just want to see if this filters and if the water that comes out is going to be clear or muddy or carbony or whatever. We have no idea, so let's get to filtering. So it is coming out, it is dripping, but it is very much carbonated right now. It's very dark. I'm thinking maybe that'll, work itself out. When you get a new Brita filter, you gotta, let the charcoal come through, right? So we'll let that drip for a little bit longer, and then I'm gonna pour that gray stuff out once it looks like it's getting a little better. So it's looking like it's getting a little better. I'm gonna pour it out and check. Alright, we do have a little residual from me just pouring it out, but it is coming through a lot clearer than what it initially was. So I'm gonna let that filter. Alright folks, so as you can see, this is the creek water, this is our filtered water. This is not the desired result. It does not look better at all. But I still think it's cleaner because it has passed through the sand and charcoal layers. I just designed my water filter the wrong way and put sand at the bottom. So I'm pretty sure that's why it looks like that, but I don't know for certain. So I think we might have to go back to the drawing board on this one, guys. Water filter still dripping, still coming out the same color, but I hope you all enjoy this effort for episode 3. Obviously we'll be coming back with this one to get this water filter right, because that is a very important aspect of survival, especially, well, I mean, any survival. You need water. Water is the most important aspect of survival. So we're definitely going to try that again. But I appreciate you watching. I appreciate the view. Remember to hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, so you know when all of my videos come out, Stone Survivor and any other projects I'm working on. And share the video. Share it on Facebook. Tag some friends in it so they can see it. And thanks for viewing. Green Hand signing off.